What kind of thoughts come to your mind when you hear the words social movement? You might think of the black movement, the gay and lesbian movement, some large groups that go protest on the streets in favor of something or against something, against the establishment. Donald Trump even calls his movement a social movement. He called his supporters being a part of a social movement. He didn't call it a political movement. He was making that distinction. Okay? It's a group of people. If you look on Wikipedia, it's a big definition that goes into lots of detail, but the first paragraph talks about how it can be defined as you have a group of oppressed people who challenge or resist the more powerful people, all right, in whatever capacity. There's a long history of these types of movements where groups of people get together and challenge another group's oppression in some way, rules, laws, the military, police. There's a lot of different ways for these movements to get generated. And in today's age, we have the internet, which helps communication, and the First Amendment is definitely within the definition of social movement. You have a group of very like-minded people who are practicing challenge to a more powerful elite, and you actually can watch these interactions go down on video, and it's clear that there is a prevalent elite force out there that is oppressive against such a simple act of recording in public. So mounting a First Amendment social movement is going on right now. All right, and it's growing, but not all social movements, if you look historically at social movements, they're not something that just kind of gets started, grows, and goes on forever. There is an end point to social movements as well. Okay, and some social movements may not ever take off. Okay, I was kind of looking for any reference to leadership, but you don't need a leader. Like Donald Trump calls his movement a social movement, but you don't need a leader. It could just be a group of like-minded people who support each other. You don't need a rally, but you could do a rally. You could do. There's many things to support the social movement. But one of the most important things for the First Amendment movement, the First Amendment audit movement, is that search term, First Amendment audits. I'm actually finding myself searching First Amendment audits from time to time on YouTube. And there's new stuff coming up all the time. Interesting stuff coming up. So that's a part of it. And you find people are supporting each other, because there are still people who need help. All right, there's people who are getting their First Amendment rights violated, and other people are coming to their aid. I've only found out about First Amendment audits a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where I really just started really looking into it a little bit more seriously. I've been recording police, but it's not something that I really considered as a part of a standard. I never really followed the standard of the First Amendment auditor. Okay, there's an actual standard that they're following that really, it's a formula that really works. that really could be explained, really could be put out as a kind of instruction for other people, a cheat sheet for other people to follow. Okay, because some people are not doing that great of a, it doesn't seem they're doing that great of a job with their First Amendment. They're kind of giving in to security here and there. And if a standard could be developed for everybody to follow, there's some people that are really sticking to a good standard, and there's other people, yeah. So that would be helpful. I've been dabbling in some of the aspects of the kind of the First Amendment audit, but it's not me going out and trying to practice my First Amendment rights as much as it's just I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time and cops get called on me or they start questioning why I'm there, and it's usually me just at the library. But there's standards that you could follow for conducting a better First Amendment audit against our oppressors. Okay, and there is a lot of material to work with, because you look at the latest videos, there's still security out there telling people that the sidewalk is private property. And you look at the explanation from some good First Amendment auditors that, well, there's still public utilities on these sidewalks that are clearly indicating that we are offered the right of way on this sidewalk. Okay, it's not a private property. There's things like that could be standardized, because I believe as people learn more about the First Amendment audits, they're going to get some misinformation from other people. Okay, they're going to get bits and pieces from one video, bits and pieces from another, and they may not be well coordinated. So, that's something to think about, to standardize. And that can be a part of a social movement, because look at Donald Trump again. He had a slogan, "Make America Great Again." And if you saw a video that I saw, Bill Clinton said "Make America Great Again," but it sounded like it was just kind of saying it in passing. Oh, we're going to make America great again, and then we're going to work with the Republicans, blah, blah, blah. No, but Donald Trump, he'd sit there and repeat it time after time. Make America great again. He'd put it in a hashtag, MAGA. He really turned it into a good slogan. The First Amendment audit, that's a good slogan to work with. Don't change it. And then creating a standardization for how it's conducted. And the social movement doesn't have to be violent. Antifa, they've gone into the Black Panther territory with how they're conducting themselves. That's a social movement. That's a violent social movement. But from what I've watched on First Amendment audits, this social movement is peaceful, okay? And they're just practicing their rights on the sidewalk. And it's confusing right now to a lot of security, and we don't want it. And to make this an effective social movement, it'll no longer be confusing to the security. Personally, I'm invested in something like this social movement because I like recording how I mean, I've recorded a lot of businesses and government buildings, but yeah, I'm a little concerned about how security reacts to it. I go through on my bicycle, just kind of record an area, and be done with it. But some people like to just kind of stand in one spot and record for a little bit, and those are the ones who get approached. That's where you want to practice your standardization on how you respond properly to these oppressors, and stand up for your constitutional rights. This is a good movement. This is something to get excited about, and more people could get involved. You could hold meetings and practice with each other in a way to harness your skills at this. It's something that could be worked on, and from what I've seen, there's some people that are really good at it, some people that are not so good at it, just watching YouTube videos. So it's something that you could have seminars with. It's really interesting, but I mean it's just a YouTube movement. I mean it's on video, and where do you go from there? You're educating the security about this. Where do you go from there? All social movements must come to an end. But right now, this one is appearing to be in the beginning, and I believe it's a social movement, and that's why I made this video.